Hello, everyone, and welcome to your lovely Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, Wednesday time of day race. My name is Dathis. I'm joined up here in the booth with It's Spelled Aerith, and behind us we have a fantastic crew of Hutch Pyramid doing our restream and rolling a fantastic forum start, and Blue Wizard pushing the buttons. How you doing today, Aerith?
I am very excited. We've got a Balamb start, it looks like, and both tail objectives, which is always fun. I also like seeing Party Rock, even though we're not going to get to play Rate That Treasury. It's always exciting seeing how much money you can walk out of there with.
I thought that was forum because the guys. Anyway, it's not important, but yeah, rate that treasury. Always fantastic. Also, one of our lovely required key items. I do see the fact that we have the hook being semi-required, with the Tower of Zot being not one of the key items required for it, but with Tradeaway Rat and Pinktail. Haven't seen the combination of the two of those yet. That's probably the most interesting thing we got here. Actually, correct that. What is the most interesting thing is we have a bit of royalty with us tonight. We have the one, the only Funnelcakes, who was the Blue Moon finisher, finalist, and champion here from Balamb Cricket Club, and we have Starman with the last minute decisions. So these two teams been doing great in the league so far, and I'm excited to see which one of them is going to pull ahead in our race. And honestly, really where any divergence is going to come in this race, if there is going to be.
Yeah, do you if you get that rat tail, do you gamble on going right for it, or do you hold out for both tails? Do you move the hovercraft around to check trap chests? I'm hoping to have a seed that gives us some options.
Oh yeah, I do. I love the fact of when you have two big diverging paths and they can lead you to fun things. Like if you have all the key items over here, which eventually leads to one objective near the end, or this other part here, which gives you this, and then it gives you almost everything else, and you have to still go find something. Again, it's how you find those paths and how they get rolled and how different key items are rabbit holed, if possible. Probably some of my favorite things here, especially with the addendum of K-Trap, which rolls some very interesting ideas with where you go once you start getting some power.
I do love K-Trapped. I love that element of, okay, well, it's guessing time.
Speaking of guessing, I guess we are off. That is, in fact, our Palom start. You were correct. That is Palom and the old man he doesn't always learn from. That's also half an objective we're given, though.
I do like seeing half an objective. Not the fastest start, but it is nice knowing you're halfway there.
I mean, this is one of the faster starts you're going to get. This is a time when you do a little bit of looting. I would honestly even just go right up Ordeal, or not Ordeals, Hobbs to see what your other character is. Because you could start with Twin Magic, and Sid, the bag of HP that he is, you can get through things with him that you really wouldn't be, you'd be surprised, considering people call him a quote low power character.
Yeah, the other thing that's great about Sid is that he really has a lot of versatility with what weapons he can use, so you can really attack a lot of enemy weaknesses if you can, make the right shopping trips.
Yeah, and speaking of weapon versatility, a short bow and poison arrows, good to start with. Another character we have our first dose of vanilla. Yes, I have infected seeds, and this is how it goes. We have Yang, but he is talking to the Dark Elf in Baron Inn. We also have some cabins, or sorry, for some tents for sale, so we can go camping right away.
Yeah, Young's not the most exciting character to see, especially when you've already got a Sid on board. He's going to require a lot of levels, and past holding a Thunderclaw every now and then. He's just another bag of HP.
Yeah, and we see Funnelcakes doing one of my favorite loots. We have Into the Watery Pass here. A very high weighted area, generally better with an exit caster, so you can loot the entire way through. There is some, well, I was going to say some decent amount of money, and then we get a 220 gil chest. But yeah, overall, nice place for some early cash. Meanwhile, here on Starman's side, we are getting Eblan, a very, very lucky Eblan for the most part. No trap chests and looted 2 full areas, meaning that entire right path is going to have all of our trap chests.
Yeah, that was a very aggressive play on their part, and it looks like it paid off. That should bankroll a lot of the early shopping that Starman is going to want to do.
And speaking of, looks like he's going to try and find out exactly where all those trap chests are. Going to do a very aggressive loot deep in. There is a time when you can think maybe we cut a little bit of losses and go on, but I mean, knowing where these trap chests are is also beneficial and which one it is. For example, that Mad Ogre chest. Everyone's favorite for some early experience.
Yeah, I mean, with the starting assassin dagger, if you get good enough defensive gear that you can protect your Balamb or whoever else is going to be wielding it, you can get some lucky swoon procs off of that and kind of manage that Mad Ogre's fight specifically.
Also, I was trying to look, but I didn't quite see who was there in the waterfall. But we do have a boss that is obviously not demist off the table, which is always nice to see. We did find our second of third trap chests, so the pot room up here, 2 of the 3 of the bosses, or of the trap chests in that area. Are we going to get a... And we have yet another vanilla. So all 3 trap chests in relatively close succession. And our wonderful tracker Blue pointing out that it is a robe that matches him. So Water Hag in the waterfall. I am personally here for this.
Yeah, not having to do Water Hag somewhere where he might be nastier with the no free bosses flag on is always nice. And then we see some really nice weapons for sale here in Kaipo. Assassin daggers, mute daggers, dancing daggers, just some really great stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And we have a character that Sand Ruby is a dead key item if we ever get it. That is a duplicate Sid. Yeah, and wow, glass hats and tiaras. Kaipo rolling with some goods. Yeah, that's whew, that is a lot of good items here. But I'm really excited to see what's here in Troya. Another very popular spot, and generally some Dragoon gear, but nothing like that's exciting, but nice to have if absolutely necessary. And Cat calls for that Yang.
A cat claw I like to see, yeah. I don't think Starman has seen Yang yet, so they don't know that that cat claw is going to have some value. But when Funnelcakes makes his way there, he might be more interested in that. And a rune axe, yeah. So some very good shopping early on.
Oh, absolutely. That rune axe being one of Sid's, I think, third. Wow,
that power
Mist
shirt,
also
okay.
coming in for real. Not buying any is very interesting, but yeah, Mist coming up fairly clutch there. That's gonna make that Sid. It puts that Sid from like kind of okay to completely online for honestly the remainder of the seed. Rune axe, I still think is one of his best weapons outside of fighting an arty bow. So, yeah, that Sid can really carry you into finding something else.
Well, I don't think Funnelcakes has done as aggressive an amount of looting as compared to Starman, so I think he might just be a little bit short on money for a power robe at this point. Yeah,
Oh, and
pretty low.
I love going to Agar because this is a place that I think a lot of people finally like rediscovered thanks to these flags. Agar is a place that is either fantastic or terrible, and right here it is fantastic. Stardust rods for sale too. That Balamb doesn't care what's going to be in that glow up room now. That's like, even if it's the gauntlet, give it like let's go, which we're fine here.
I love finding an early Stardust rod. That's enough damage to carry you through a lot of the early fights. Plus 15 to the casting stat is always nice. You know, your Balamb is pretty much online at this point.
Yeah, and finding this Yang up here, I definitely see Funnelcakes and Starman both going and running for some of these cat claws because they're just absolutely going to be necessary. Balamb, honestly, the best target for some of these Ice 2s to take all the damage, because if he goes down, him being our hero, he's still going to get those access to those level 2 spells because, you know, you're our hero, you get experience no matter where you are.
It is convenient when you don't have to worry about keeping the squishy mages standing throughout some of those tough early fights. You can just, scrabble through them however you can, and you're still going to have those levels for the spells you need to progress.
Oh, absolutely. You can kind of just let them sit on the ground, be like, look, we'll deal with you later. And Starman, with all that aggressive looting, honestly is starting to run low on some of the financial resources he has, which goes to show, like, the money you have when you find the good stuff as we have so far in the seed, just gone. Just that leaves so quickly.
Yeah, it really seems like you have a lot of money, but some of those big ticket items like really have a lot of zeros at the end of them, so it adds up pretty quick.
Yeah, and Funnel, making you dive down to Antlion Cave, going to get our first official key item check, while Starman is going to be matching Funnelcakes' character checks, and the both of them are going to have this Yang. And Sid doing the discount version of what he could have, just with a black belt and a bandana. But we do see a wonderful, wonderful DKC. Again, Pain Man, gonna be doing some tickling. I'm a little sad. I like seeing him in some ruder spots, but I know our runners are gonna be breathing a bit of a sigh of relief that he is not gonna be anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, as a runner, you're really happy to see him here as opposed to somewhere like Required Leviathan or something along those lines. Um,
Well
I
then.
was about, yeah, I was about to say we know that's not progression, or that's on our way underground, um, but that is an objective.
That does mean, yeah, when we go underground, we're going to get an item for Balamb immediately that we can upgrade his weaponry from the Stardust Rod and give him a great level of power. And additionally, yeah, that is going to be one of our 6 required objectives to be doing. 6 of the 8 you see down there.
Yeah, and the shops in this flag set, that shop is a lot less exciting than it would be in other flag sets, but you do still find some goodies in there sometimes.
Will actually agree. It is probably some of the least exciting shop there. I have seen probably shops that would have put like vanilla Baron shop to like make that look like a god tier shop by comparison. I looked and went, wow, what disappointment compared to what we have on the overworld.
Yeah, I've been seeing Cure 1s and Iron.
Yeah, and it's always entertaining when you then go down and you say, "Hey, look at all the goodies that we have here by comparison. Why are these all in this shop? Why Cole? You're the master's forger. Why do you have the worst things in the world?"
I mean, sometimes novelty sells, right? If you can get the good stuff everywhere else, might as well sell the cheap stuff.
I mean, yeah, I guess make money off the cheap items. I get you. I get you. I mean, sometimes you got to do that. But the real question is, so, Aerith, as someone who does these flags a little bit more than what I have, we're 10 minutes in. We've got a key item check that is technically a dead end. We have a very, very tempting looking Eblan for a couple of items, but we still have 3 other key item locations mostly, or 4 other key items locations before we really have to look at Eblan. We got Zot, we've got Baron Inn, we've got Fabul, and we have Ordeals. Where's kind of like where would you be going by comparison where these runners are?
So, I honestly at this point would probably be thinking trap chess. Um, you can get all 3 of these done pretty easily with what you have. And then, at the end of that, probably you've got at least Virus, if not definitely Quake. And then Palom just takes care of a lot of the rest of the seed at that point. It is kind of unfortunate that he's the hero. That makes it a little bit harder to get those Quakes out really quickly when you're in Sylph Cave, for instance. But considering you're going to be carried by those spells, and you've got 3 key item checks in here, I'm trying to get these trap chests done.
Therein lies the question. It's like, yes, once we get Quake and we go underground, what about, say, the Warriors chests on the path to the Feymarch? Isn't that something you're going to be kind of thinking about? Like, hey, we can save an hourglass for that. That's a quick key item check and infusion of items while we're there. Would you really be burning all three of them here?
I would be looking to save at least one of them. Yeah, for the reason you just mentioned. Like, I love having one available to be able to do the Warriors chest right away.
Yeah, I will say, as someone more the restream side than someone who's been running or doing any of these flags, that's what I've seen. I've seen a lot of people kind of just like taking all three of these chests early, using your hourglasses, and then not really worrying about the warrior chest. Honestly, it doesn't come up as like very important for a lot of it. But if you got a character in the underground who's at a lower level, like say we get a Porum to round out our team down there, and you want to get an infusion of experience, well, Warriors plus Quake equals a good time. What also equals a good time is that Moonveil pickup, though.
I love seeing a Moonveil.
Yeah, any later on fights where it's like, okay, well, this is just gonna keep punching a lot, so let's nullify the punching aspect of it, is really good. And if we can get a Bacchus wine off in the same token, then I mean, you're kind of just laughing in that aspect. You can just Bacchus to keep the wall up longer, and then you have that barrier status and just a good time.
And we do have some divergence as Starman is thinking they might have better luck in Baron Inn.
I like this because, again, I like leaving the trap chests for one of the last checks on the overworld, because it allows you to say we go from here and we go to Baron, we find a character. That's experience that character can have. The only person who isn't going to want any experience is going to be either Tella or Edge. Edge can kind of go without a little bit of experience. Anybody else that we find is going to want a nice little infusion of a couple of thousand experience. And Baron Inn is just like easy, like fairly easy mode today. We have Dark Elf, which two phases kind of gets put down real quick into a into a Bahamut, who is nothing really scary considering he's so slow here. And speaking of nothing scary, nothing ventured, nothing found, just a crystal ring from that trap chest.
I do like a crystal ring, especially with a slower anchor. There's some situations where the best you can do is try to speed people up, and having that crystal ring available is going to be big.
Absolutely. And Funnelcakes doing this last check. My favorite part about this one here is I kind of enjoy how much people really sleep on this Black Hat Lamia fight for experience specifically. Now, give me my Edward. Did you know that the Black Hats actually give roughly the same amount of experience as the Mad Ogres?
I did not know that. That's actually really good to know.
They in fact give, I think, a couple of hundred more for about 1,000 HP less worth of damage. Mind you, yes, you don't have the weakness from the Ogre Axe and for silence weapons and everything like that to work with it. But if you're in a point where you can kind of just one-hit those with, say, a virus or something like that and life potion afterwards, they become a little bit better. And Lamia, you can't life in the first place because it's technically classified as undead. So you life up these black cats. Another cat chance at a cat claw. Oh, baby. Aerith, did you see what Funnelcakes just found?
Was that a pigtail that I just saw?
That, in fact, was yet another one of our objectives that we have here. So we find a hook, and hopefully it's not... I kind of hope it's a little buried, personally, but that's just me. We find a hook, and Funnelcakes has a nice little key item advantage right now, as well as access to one of those tier 8 items.
Well, in my experience, it's a white shirt until it isn't. I mean, I never say no to a white shirt, but... You know, we have seen Stardust Rods already. We haven't seen a Cecil yet, so... I don't know, there's not really anybody to carry like one of the big exciting stat sticks yet. There's still a lot of character checks left, but...
Yeah, our characters have kind of come up a little bit bupkis as of right now. But Yang getting those cat claws, getting that power shirt. Yeah, Starman is looking at this Yang going, well, I thought I had damage in Balamb. Not anymore.
Yeah, that Young is pretty set up for Bear at this point. Best claws that we're gonna have access to, and the power shirt. I believe we saw some bandanas for sale at some point as well.
You are correct. I did see some bandanas and some black belts. So I mean, we have pretty much everything we really need. Balamb has a sorcerer robe as well that we found in Agart, which also had lunar staves and white spears. So if we find a cane, we got a nice little item for him to use until he gains some levels. The best part about it, the fact that you can use it as an item to cast white, and that's a good 800 damage when he's only swinging for about 2-3.
I do love finding an early white spear. I mean, at this point, I really love just to see a cane.
I mean, I do as well, and for the simple reasons of what you mentioned for Sid earlier on. He's very much the same in the fact of he is the Swiss Army knife for weapons. He gets access to swords, daggers, axes, spears. Like he gets basically the same repertoire as Cecil, but he doesn't get access to like the holy sword, like the big holy swords, and some bows, which is, I mean, can be a bit of a problem. But as we see here, we almost always find something for Kane somewhere. And again, back row, just have him jump.
Yeah, the really exciting thing that Kane can wear is that Avenger sword that really comes in handy a lot of times when you just need to not be thinking about putting in some attack commands. And that's one thing that Sid definitely can't do for you. One thing that I've noticed is that we don't have a white mage yet. So no berserk casters and 2 melee people.
Yeah, it's honestly, you're looking now maybe for a couple of Cure 3s just to get yourself through some of the areas, which would probably be in Fabul, the one set of shops that we have not checked just yet. But Funnelcakes is now running around looking for some other items. I do always enjoy the whole Spider-Man of Yang looking at Yang before coming into party, which is fairly entertaining to me. Yeah, we are very, very quickly running out of where's our underground access. We have 3 current unlocked places left. We have the Zot treasure chest, Zot 1 proper for a demist, our run-up ordeals, and Fabul here. And it looks like Funnelcakes is taking money and running and putting it on Fabul.
Yeah, Fabul is probably the fastest of the checks that are left. It is a long walk up ordeals. There are 3 bosses you have to fight, a bunch of cutscenes, and a back attack to boot, so it's just a lot. I love seeing that dwarf axe.
Remember how we wanted a cane? Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. A cane. If we have Edge, we can back row him with a full moon. There's our Cure 3s I was talking about. We have a white mage now. Sid's just fine. That's enough HP to get through.
Yeah, that Sylph Cave will just be a little bit expensive.
And look at all the money we'll get from Sylph Cave. It balances out.
I wonder if we're getting the Updog chest here.
Is Starman is again doing a very bold play while Funnelcakes is protecting Fabul from being attacked by Vigan. Yeah, a quick virus and all said but the crying.
And Balamb, it looks like, did come up short on Quake.
Yeah, virus a couple of 100 damage, just a little bit low, is unfortunate. But again, a couple of hits from Yang and Sid's going to make nothing but a problem taken care of. And unfortunately, not spiking early, so Starman looks like he's going into the Trident room, as a lot of people like to call it. Yeah, down goes Bygone Body, down goes the right arm, the left arm. Here comes the right arm. Yep, and there we go. Quick, easy fight. We're going to get a heal. We're going to get a key item check while we have the Flame Dog at the same time. Nice little ice cast, and that'll be dealt with.
we get Tower Key from Football Defense, so something to check, but not immediate progression. Definitely not what we're looking for in any case.
Yep, that's another possibility of double dip and fire with the magma. Yep, the Zot check definitely pays off. 100%, always for the shenanigans. I'm 100% here for this.
That is fantastic. So if Hook isn't in Overworld, that's a massive advantage for Starman. They're going to be well ahead at this point.
Yeah, they've made a great check right there. What I am curious about is why he decided not to stay and save, check what that boss is. Because again, boss knowledge is a big thing. And whatever boss is there is like, hey, is this possibly a demist? So you could just get 2 key items from here for free. But speaking of free, you're very unhappy to see a semi-free boss in CPU kind of hanging out in Mist Cave.
And it looks like Funnelcakes might be making the same play, actually. Wow.
Yeah, this is very heads up from Funnel. I kind of agree with this, like knowing what you have left. You have no real incentive to go to ordeals aside from your 3 bosses and your 1 key item. Fabul, you want to try and save for as long as possible. So this makes the most sense. Like logistically, you've got the possibility of, hey, this is where it could be. I personally would have probably done ordeals first, just because again, we're still looking for a rogue demist, and again, the key item and just getting Palom's little shenanigans out of there. In case you find a Cecil, he's already upgraded to a paladin.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, we really haven't seen too many characters. We've only seen 3 characters, so it's very possible that we've got a Cecil or even a Tella at this point. We haven't seen another white mage. If we see Tella, he's relegated to float and exit duty.
Yeah, again, as I mentioned, Cure 3s make it so that Sid, who is very slow, he will eventually just be, your HP sponge in that spot and not much else, because he's going to do okay work until you find an Artemis bow. If you find that, then he actually has the speed to keep up. Aside from that, he's very mediocre speed-wise.
It looks like Funnelcakes is doing that extra check of that first boss just to see who it is. I wouldn't be surprised if Starman was thinking, like, you know what, I'm going to have to come back here anyway because Zot is an objective.
Right, and seeing here up with an antlion there, that's not the worst to find there. So again, knowing he's out of the pool for quote now, never a bad thing. 25 minutes in though, and we have our first runner underground, and we are about to take off our very first objective. We have our wonderful Starman here doing the secret chest. I'm here for the piggy bank looting, and gonna be finding I'm pretty sure Triton Dagger is this one, as well as Blizzard Spears, Silver. Oh man, the Asura Rod.
Yeah, that's one I usually see that Triton Dagger. It's been a while since I've seen the Asura Rod.
I had completely forgotten about the Asura Rod even being one of the items. Well, you know what? It's another weapon that we have access to. If we get a Tella, that's something that he can use as well. So, not the worst thing to find. What does it use on cast? I see it does holy damage when you hit with it, which is never going to happen.
Yeah, I actually didn't see what it cast.
Yeah, the fact that it's also got the will on it is the wisdom and the will, meaning he's got good magic defense in the same aspect. So that really benefits him in the fact that he can take a good hit. And Xenocat saying that it casts white. I thought so. I'm like, so that means we do have another option.
Yeah, Sork Robe, Crystal Ring, and plus 15 to both casting stats is really going to bump up your magic defense quite a bit.
So Starman really going for these trap chests here. Well, we know exactly where it is. The last chest.
And they're going to go for it.
I'm here for this. You have enough Cure 2s, and again, you got everybody in the back row. Just throw out that hourglass, and you can get a couple of irises. I'm very here for the vanilla trap chest.
I think they might be out of hourglasses, so I'm not sure. I think we're going to be hoping to survive one of the punches and then get off a quake.
Oh, this is actually very, very smart. So the bandana and the power shirt and the black belt, they actually give you some evasion multipliers. Oh, and that's a
Oh no!
little unfortunate. Two
Oh
MPO off the
no!
break. I mean, who among us have not made that mistake? I got enough MP. Well, and that's what all these ethers are for. um, but yeah, the really big heads up play there is knowing the stats that are on some of your pieces of gear. It may not give you a lot of defense, but it gives you some evasion multipliers. So you can straight up evade some of these attacks or evade some of the attack rolls proper. So there is that possibility. So it helps him a lot. And like, yeah, it's a little bit more like paper, but that doesn't matter if you can't get your quake off.
Yeah, and center slot with that nice stat stick. One quake should do the job.
And we have Gungnir, yet another spear, some other rods. Still, honestly, not seeing any good bows. So, any of our bow users, we see Rosa or even to give this sit, kind of nothing for them here, which is a little odd by comparison. Usually, you see those kind of bows everywhere.
Yeah, we're kind of running out of shops to check as well.
I mean, aside from here in Tomra and Baron proper, with the key, we will be out of shops to look for, and it's a little unfortunate. Ninja, let's see, are we waiting on a locked place to find something? Excals and charm bows and ninjas. Yeah, if we find ourselves an edge, he's going to be geared up. Find ourselves a Cecil, he's going to be geared up. But speaking of geared up, I hope our raiders from Free Enterprise joined us, and no spoilers from that race, but welcome to a fantastic race of progress between Funnelcakes and Starman.
Well, we have a nice shiny sword that may or may not be money at some point. But just as importantly, that's putting us probably close enough that this Balamb will have warp when we do Dwarf Castle, and there's the required hook.
Oh, baby. All right, so that is another objective that we can get out of the way. That's another key item, or sorry, two more key item checks, as well as another character check that we can see.
I love finding ribbons. I don't like finding them here when, it's not necessarily the most fun thing walking all the way back down here. Well, we've got mute arrows. That's something. And a crossbow, too. Is that a good bow?
If I say yes, will you believe me?
Sure.
No, it's really not.
And did Starman check the bosses? I must have missed that.
If he did, I also blinked and he missed it. Chat, if you guys want to make it so that we're doing our job a little bit better. And we have our restreamer in our ear saying that no, we did not get a boss check. I kind of agree with that, because you don't care who it is right now. There's, aside from a boss that only punches, which as of right now is Pale Dim only, you're not fighting them.
Yeah, there's really nothing you can take at that point. I mean, maybe if we didn't know that Bahamut was off the table, I might want to try to get really lucky and spike a Bahamut somewhere, but no, there's really nothing you can handle at this point, so just come back.
What was it, a Sura maybe? And that's like questionable. But yeah, aside from that, you're not really finding anything that you're super excited about. But yeah, Again, mute arrows, the best find we have here. Like we got mute arrows, we got charm arrows, we've got poison arrows. Unless Baron kind of shows up here, we're really not going to have anything good for any of our archers, which is very interesting.
Well,
Although other interesting thing is we actually have a key item possibility down here.
we do. I'm really not happy about that fight, but we have a key item check.
Yeah, it's not going to punch that hard, but that is going to be super fast. So you're going to have to be like double slowing and like fasting your team almost just to make sure that you can get some of these hits in because it's yeah. And I love what the Funnelcakes is doing here. You're looking for what this sparkle is. Remember that time
Okay.
when I said the only thing you could take here?
Yeah, well, you've got a Moon Veil. You've got some Ether 2s. I don't know that I want to quake my way all the way through that, though.
No, no, you don't. Not at this current moment.
So yes, I do agree. Like, you're really going to want to be able to cast slow on that demist, but there is a slight rub with that plan right now, which is that we don't have a white mage, and we don't have a ninja that can steal some silk webs.
Both of these are very good points. Now, let's see if Sheila... Ooh, Sheila 1 does have some goods. That is, in fact, a Baron key, so we do have that. And Starman also getting the tower key from his first round of Full Defense, so not worst. Again, we're getting some good checks here back and forth, but I would be so tempted to chase that Baron key because I want another character. Give me another body. I don't care if it's like I'll take even Iridia at this point. Like my hierarchy of what I really want is I want myself a Kane, I want myself an Edward, I want myself an Edge. Cecil can just keep being power overwhelming someone with another seed. Look, I love Cecil, but he can take a vacation.
I pretty desperately want a white mage at this point. I'm getting very concerned about the possibility of a Sylph Cave dive being required when you're, trying to heal your way with potions through, the back end of that. I mean, I would be, like, over the moon for a Tella right now. I mean, Tella could cast Exit. That's a big improvement.
Yeah, that's about the only nice thing he can do, and even then, Exit's only really going to be beneficial for the next, what, like 3, maybe 4 areas, because after that they start becoming like locked areas, or you can't exit out, or yeah, which is the problem with certain parts of Exit. Starman finding that double Staleman check.
Yeah, and this is another spot. You should just be able to quake your way through it. I love getting that sleep proc.
Cat Claws doing a lot more work than you expect them to, which is always entertaining. Yeah, one quake, they're gone. Not a lot of experience, but we're not here for the experience. We're here for
Darkness Crystal. Okay.
I wasn't trying to hype it up like that, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, that's 2 more key item checks. That is the character check, and that's 2 objectives that we now have access to.
And hey,
Well,
look, there's your Dark Knight. There's your Cecil, so we're going up for deals.
yeah.
So,
Okay,
yeah, we have and as mentioned by our restreamer, that is in fact also our go mode. Ooh, look, samurai arrows, something useful. Yeah, that's our go mode because that is Cave Bahamut, that's Masamune Altar, Pink Tails being traded in. So you skip Zot, you skip Rat Tail, and yeah, you do everything else. And this also brings us to a really interesting spot because we have like okay-ish power. Cecil will be the reason why we push through a lot of this with that crystal sword. So this is now, hey, let's get him some experience and kind of go from there. And yeah, maybe that Ordeals has the rat tail, so we have that turn in, and that turns into into the Earth Crystal through some way. I mean, we have shenanigans left still.
You could also do cover strats with that Moon Veil, and make that demist, or that yeah, the demist would be free, or um, the Pale Dim could be free as well. It's whichever. And I miss those ninja hats. Those are also very good finds. Again, when you've got kind of a slow anchor, being able to either speed them up as needed or speed up the rest of your team is pretty important.
Yeah, and getting the rest of their team a little bit faster than this Balamb is not going to be a problem. He very much is one of our slower characters, so we're very okay with ninja hatting, say, this Cecil or this Yang, and just kind of letting them be the stars right now because there's nothing really that's making this poor Sid exciting aside from the fact that he is going to be a great chemist in about 2 minutes.
I mean, it'd be very different if we had found that arty bow, but I think Archer might be the best bow that we have at this point. Really, really not going to carry you through some of those tougher checks.
Yeah, see Starman double checking for, or almost going for some looting at a habit, but yeah, I think this is at the point where the money you have is going to be the money you're going to have for the rest of the seed.
Yeah, it's just about going as fast as possible at this point. I don't know that they even do any more shopping. Um, you've got a crystal sword. Just give Cecil the power shirt and the bandana. Go to town.
You kind of want a little bit more armor for him, I think, like maybe a decent shield, but also to give Yang some of this power too, because that's his big thing. Levels give him multipliers, which gives him the power that you need for him. So you're kind of maybe wanting to get him not like as on par with Cecil because there's no way that's going to happen, but you're going to want any disparity. And speaking of disparity, the power disparity of this elements into an evil wall would have been rude to find earlier, but Palom's like, I've got fire too and Quake. I don't care. And yeah, Yang powering up for a 1300 hit. Yeah, there's no way this is like these fights. We're not talking about them much because there's not much to talk about.
No, at this point, it's just execution. Our runners are pretty much neck and neck. It's just a matter of slight routing efficiencies and whether or not we're going to get any curveballs on the rest of this jet seed.
Yeah, and this is the part where it gets really dicey in the aspect of, do you go and take one of the trap chests somewhere else for some experience, or what do you do? Because your Cecil is literally just like a crystal sword, and that is it. And those two bosses are just nothing really special, or nothing that they don't like your holy damage. Uh, no key item, samurai arrows, so that is what we're gonna need.
So I might be tempted to do hair dryers. Because again, one Quake should take care of that. That's a pretty good bundle of experience. And then maybe you spike a key item and you can skip one of those tougher bosses.
Now, Aerith, here's the real question: do you go check the character first, as well as do Baron if it's a dupe, or if it's just a dupe, and do you get that fifth character so Cecil can get that slingshot experience? Because a level 1 Cecil with slingshot is kind of chef's kiss right here.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be really tempted because, like you said, even if it's a character you're not excited about, having that fifth character gives you the slingshot for your Cecil. That could be your white mage, and then you slingshot your white mage and your Cecil, and then it's just easy peasy. But we'll see.
Yeah, because anybody aside from Tella is going to just be like, yes, please, thank you, get into my party right now. You get Tella, you're just like, get away from me, but I'll still take you anyways, old man. But yeah, do you go, and actually, yeah, as we're looking at here, we're looking at 7 key items. No, 9 key items. Sorry, we're looking at 9 key items. So, do you do that Baron and hope for a character and key item specifically, or what? Like, what do you do?
I think the Baron check is probably just a little bit too long. Um, yeah, I think you just try to do what's in front of you. If it's something that you wind up really having to bounce off of because you just don't have the tools or the levels, um, that just happens sometimes. But at this point, like, I don't know. If you're Starman and you did that super early updog chest and got underground, you have to be thinking either like I'm really far ahead because who would who would check that so early, or oh, this is a crazy jet seed and I really need to get going as quickly as possible.
There
I
is
think
also the possibility of Dwarf Castle, where you have 2 key items, one character. So there is that as
I
well. But
am
yeah,
tempted by
it's
Dwarf Castle. Yeah,
I yeah, that's a tempting spot. Like, you save here, you go to the moon. Is this a character? Reset back down here, go underground, do that check because it's a higher percentage of being a K main check. Uh,
well,
no Rydia, sorry.
no Rydia, no one's bringing the heat from fire
However,
tonight.
that is Funnelcakes technically taking the lead with a Pinktail trade away.
I do love Blarg, but it's a little late for that.
Yeah, and I am a big fan of what we have here because this is kind of gonna, I think, determine how the race goes. I think if Starman finds this other character, does this check here like a little bit faster, I think that gives him a bit of a lead. If this is not a dupe, if this is a dupe, I think it's still up in the air. But I think if not, and we get Cecil all these levels really quick, I think it kind of gives him the lead. And we have a moon child.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I think did Starman sell that Stardust Rod, or do they still have it?
Honestly, Stardust Rod or not, you're gonna go get a Bahamut from that turn in. You don't care what your stats are at. Bahamut just kind of says everything gets out of here.
And our restreamer letting us know that they did in fact sell the Stardust Rod. So how many levels does Rydia gain here from level 1?
We're gonna find out, and it's gonna be less than Cecil. I'll tell you that because the way her XP goes up. Yeah, this is kind of what you're excited for. You're excited to watch Cecil get all these levels. You're excited for Rydia to get all these levels. You're excited to give Rydia a Blarg to go through with, and this is just chef's kiss. This is how the rest of the scene's gonna go. It's gonna be Crystal. It's gonna be Blarg, and that's gonna be all she wrote.
I think judging by how Starman arranged their party, I think he might be hoping more for the levels on Cecil and not really as concerned about the Rydia.
No, I hard agree. Arty arrows. What is this? Where is this?
Is that Mysidia? Wow.
City has some good stuff. Like, hey, nobody really checked here yet.
Yeah, I guess nobody's been to Mysidia yet.
But yeah, with this team, you're 100% saying, I don't care. I mean, this is the nicest way. We don't care about Rydia's levels. She's just a nice little side effect to Cecil. No, with the cover, yeah, that's definitely Cecil just saying, yep, we're gonna keep the kid alive. Quake Kid's gonna do some things. That is, yeah, ready for some experience.
That is brilliant execution there from Starman.
24 levels.
And there's our exit caster, by the way.
Oh, hey, yeah. Hey, remember that time when I said that Rydia's not going to get as many levels as Cecil? Technically, I was right. One less, 23. And a pan for good measure. Well, there's another 10th key.
Yeah, there you go.
A little unfortunate it came from where we're getting all our experience, but users. But yeah, at this point, I think you do a quick check, see what's here, and you look at the boss, at least what's in the one of the caves, because you gotta find out where some of it is. Like you need to know. Like Cave Bahamut, 100% I'd be checking here, but it looks like Starman says, you know what? I don't care what I find. I've got enough power. This is
This
bold.
is
I'm
very
here for this.
spicy. I'm here for it, yeah. Also at 10 key items, you've got the ribbon room down there. There's a lot of really easy stuff we have not seen. I mean, there's to get us a lot we haven't seen. You've got Queblin, you've got the Kaipo guards. There's some stuff that would be pretty easily managed.
I agree, but there's still a lot out there that can be very, very scary. Like we still have Ogo out there somewhere. We still have Wyvern, and who knows what he could come up with. Like he could be just all sorts of fun. We could have Golbez in a spot where he's not going to really put himself out that quickly. It's too much of. There's so much unknown that this is not like this is not what I personally would do, but I'm really, really big here for people who are bold enough to do these kind of strategies.
So if it's literally Golbez down here, it's completely free. We've got crystal rings and ribbons. And this spot has enough magic power that Golbez is going to take care of himself. So you just slap everything on your Balamb, throw up a Star Veil, and it's free.
At that point, why not put everything on your Cecil so that he gets all the experience? If Palam's going to get it anyways.
Could do that too, yeah. I mean, boy, just with already what that Cecil has, he's gonna be doing some work for us.
Yeah, absolutely. This is nothing. Wow, doesn't even look. He said, "Hey, we're talking about the ribbon room." No, not even going for. We're just gonna go right for Mirasame, or sorry, the Masamune altar.
I like this. Again, just being super aggressive.
Yeah, personally, I find this a bold, aggressive strategy. There could be people who do these flags and may say otherwise, but oh, that is yes. This is you honestly come here with no HP on people and you just let Cecil cover all day.
Yeah, so the problem is the explode is based on magic power, I believe, correct? And this spot, that's gonna hurt.
It may hurt, but after that, it's not going to be much of a problem because you're going to be, oh, that Cecil's tanking some hits. Yeah, okay, so that's a little scarier than I expected it to be.
Yeah, that's a really rough spot for Mom Bomb. And then, you would have the AoE damage with a Quake. Starman doesn't know that there's a Blarg waiting for them. Oh, geez.
That is though, in all honesty, I say, oh no, you're about to watch a Cecil do quad 9 damage here.
Yeah.
This is free. This is free, but not easy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you really wanted it to be easy, you just throw a Moon Veil on, and then it's literally free. But I can see wanting to save that when you don't know what's further down the moon.
Wow, Rydia taking 400 damage in the back row. Look at her tank a hit. And counter with the Blarg. I'm okay. Ooh. Yeah, yep. Told you, quad 9s.
Yep, yeah. Crystal Sword is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, this is what I'm really here for. Again, how the characters in the back not taking much damage because of the undead ability. Virus not doing anything aside from just being pretty. Yeah, Yang and Sid, they're doing their job. They're absorbing the hits, and they're letting the kids do all the hard, heavy lifting.
Yeah, this Bahamut is going to be a huge advantage for Funnelcakes.
Yeah, 2 Bahamuts, 2 swings from Cecil. Balamb saying, "Hey, look, I can do things too." maybe doing about half as much. And another Moonveil. Wow, that has literally got a freebie. If you had used your Moonveil here, that's honestly, if Starman uses this here, that's not that big of a problem now.
No, but it looks like they're gonna trust in Crystal Sword, and I think they have their Cecil decked out in a lot more defensive gear. I think there might be samurai armor on there. But wow, this spot really hits hard. it's really hard to dodge punches here.
Yeah, if you aren't 100% ready. But again, it doesn't matter how hard you hit; it's how hard you can get hit. And Cecil can get hit real hard and dish it right back out. Couple of swings, he goes down as well. We get experience on the whole party again from Starman. Gets his another Moonveil, and yeah, this is. If Funnelcakes also bounces off his Mom Bomb, then we have a much closer race than what it really looks here.
Yeah, the thing is that Funnelcakes is probably going to have an easier time not having Mom Bomb explode because he'll have access to that Bahamut. Should be able to push in enough damage before Mom Bomb explodes. And then, if he really wanted to, he can waste one of his Moonveils, and that Cecil can just cover everybody.
I mean, Cecil covering everybody still doesn't really help if we get to the explode phase and everything's, again, it's getting to that. It's like if we can get before the explode phase and everything's fine, that's fine. But then once the explode happens, if we're down to just Cecil left at that point, which we almost guaranteed will be, we're going to have 6 bombs to contend with, and we're not going to have enough damage. Cecil's not going to be able to push through enough.
No, you really
He'll come
want to
close, but yeah.
Yeah, you're really going to want to be able to get a Quake off on Funnelcakes' side, get like a Blarg, a Crystal Sword Swing, and a Quake should prevent you from seeing the explode, but it's going to be close. And you have to survive until then as well. It's not a guarantee you're going to make it that far into the fight.
Yeah, also the entertaining part of it, the fact that we've seen Cecil and Rydia participate in 2 fights, and they went from 1 to 30s, so just shows you just how big the slingshot and double experience really, really is. But yeah, we have a race right here, my Free Enterprise friends.
I do wonder if Starman is at all interested in that ribbon room. Just a quick peek, see what's there. Like, maybe it's something that you can manage. And with 10 key items, that is a lot of experience. That is a lot of experience, and that is a lot of levels.
Yeah, but again, it's at this point when you are in this level of a go mode, like, at what point do you say, yeah, this is a nice little advantage, yeah, this is nice to see here. But again, it's that whole, like, the discussion you and I were just having, like, about 10 minutes ago. Do you go and check Baron to get your character and key item and get double experience in this and this and this? Or do you just kind of run with what you have? And would getting the extra character have been better? Who knows at this point? Like, and this is where we start seeing, the Cecil cover strat's going to be coming in big, just so that Balamb and Rydia can do some damage while Cecil does, again, brilliant work as a paladin.
Yeah, Funnelcakes has his Cecil Moonveiled up. On Starman's side, they did not heal up the rest of their party, so Cecil will already be in cover duty pretty much, and now that he's got that Moonveil up, this is totally free. Again, just great execution on Starman's side.
We're seeing it on both sides. Like, we see Funnelcakes here getting a little bit extra power, so he gets to push through that. You get to push through that Bahamut K fight a little bit better. But then we see Starman decides, you know what, we're going to take the MP that we have here, go with this, and take this fight, and take it with lower HP. We now see the benefit we have. Yeah, we don't have Rydia, like, we don't have Rydia doing Blarg, but we also have access to all these other characters. And we're going to see how much this explode does. Oh, that is a lot more than I was expecting.
Yeah, it's based on the magic power, and that's not a spot you want to be taking a magic attack from.
So with Funnelcakes bouncing off, that gives Starman a chance to kind of make that bounce and not really mean anything. And oh, you know what? This may be the best and worst case scenario because of good and bad things. We do have the good in the sense of, hey, we've got an easy boss here. The bad, this is split experience in a split spot with the dolls. So you're not going to get anywhere near the experience you were hoping for.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. You really would have loved to have gotten full experience for this, but
At this point, do you almost like farm the dolls for experience, or is that just really not worth it? I've never actually done the calculations.
no, I don't think that's. I don't think so. I think maybe. Well,
Starman, though, speaking of execution, absolutely fantastic execution. Funnelcakes picking up an Avenger is really good. But yeah, Starman gets himself, finds out you can't warp out. You gotta walk out of here, my friend. But yeah, fantastic execution. Starman does finish off that fight, pulls him just dead even with his objectives, can go back to Earth, get himself the Pinktail trade away, and we go from one runner possibly ahead to who's really ahead.
yeah. At this point, I mean, it is advantage Starman. He's got one more tough check out of the way as compared to Funnelcakes. But there's still two very challenging bosses waiting for us in the Fey March. We do have one Moon Veil left, so one of those fights will be free. But that demist with the Holy Resistance, when your big damage dealer on Starman's side is going to be Cecil, is a little tough. I mean, they are about to get Blarg, and Blarg solves a lot of problems.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we do have, like, Cecil being the heavy lifting right now is kind of the problem, but when we have access to just like Quake spam and everything else, we are going to be getting, a bit more of power parity between the two of them. So we are going to have that, and Starman very smartly picking up this Asura in case he needs the emergency party healing. Probably not going to, but I'm here for this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you never know when you need healing, and at this point, your only option is Rydia, so you got to make do with what you got.
Yeah, getting this Pinktail, getting that this Bahamut. Honestly, as much as I think it's like you'd be kicking yourself a little bit, it just would save maybe a turn or so off from when you're fighting this Mom Bomb originally. So, But, and so here's another really interesting question. It's, do you check that pan real quick for a possibility of a Zot? But like, I don't think so. But
Well,
like,
the problem,
like, where is this rat tail? Is the real question.
yeah, the problem is with K-Summon off, bonking Yang isn't going to give you a key item. So you would have to go all the way back up to Sheila as well. If they hadn't already done Sheila 1, I would absolutely be checking. But, knowing that you'd have to go all the way back to Sheila for one key item check, I'm taking my chances with what we know is down in the Fey March. Actually, Starman did not check, so Starman doesn't know what's waiting for them down here.
Oh, that is very right. Yeah, this is Starman getting a nice blind check, which that's something we're going to have to talk to him about during the interview when the finish comes in. Because, yeah, again, first of all, give these runners a big shout out, big follow, because like they are doing wonderful jobs. Funnelcakes, again, one of our recent tournament winners, and Starman, a fantastic runner in and of their own right. Just these runners doing great work. But the other people doing the great work are those behind the scenes. Blue Wizard keeping us honest and making sure our key items are tracked properly, and Hush Pyramid, a jet seed rolled with just enough rudeness to keep it entertaining.
Yeah, this has been kind of that perfect combination of very fast, but then you get to the end game and it's got a few curveballs for you to try to puzzle your way through. And the execution for both runners has been really fantastic. It's been a great, great race so far.
All right, Starman, let's see how you blink on this. Yeah, it goes right for that D-Mist. You do see the fact that he did raise up people that were necessary and is going to be getting those hits. You're about to watch a Crystal Sword do the least amount of damage against one boss. Yeah, not fun, but not much you can do about it. That time when I said D-Mist was fast.
Oh boy, yeah, this is tough.
Yeah, this is a check where, like, without any level of slow whatsoever, that D-Mist is going to be the last one you do, and I would not be doing that first. I would be doing our Doot Snake and then fighting that D-Mist last because I know it's going to be a long fight. But both runners actually frames away from each other, and yeah, this is. Oh, we have the Moonveil being used here.
I like it. This is going to be tricky because I've literally had issues with this fight in this exact spot where I try to time up my Bahamut or my Quake with coming out of Mist form, and I've had the casting time take long enough that it just whiffed. And with the levels that we're at, we've got pretty limited MP, especially on that Rydia. I didn't see the exact number, but
I believe she may know Psych at this level, and you can use Cecil as a secondary battery. Plus, Starman, I think, is the only one who bought ethers, so there is that.
I think they might have one Ether 2 left.
Good Bahamut timing, though. I do like the rapid fire virus casts too from your black mages because that's what you're gonna want to really see. Yeah, and again, sitting here waiting on Rydia's turn, this is again really good execution from Starman's side. Just like waiting, knowing where your big power hitter is, and you want to get this Bahamut off because that is gonna be the biggest like burst through this long HP bag.
Yeah, I mean, if it was any other boss, that Crystal Sword would be doing a lot of work, but, you know, unfortunately we're up against one of two bosses that has that holy resistance.
Really? Who's the other one?
Octonam, for no reason whatsoever.
Actually, that is untrue. The reason why... we'll explain that in a hot second, but Starman, again, great execution, gets through this D-Mist fight, gets a white shirt from the white-colored boss. Not really beneficial here, but yeah, not knowing what that sparkle is, very happy to save.
Yeah. I understand where Starman is coming from, because if that's a plague, that is miserable. I don't know that did they find another stack of life potions? It doesn't look like they did. We don't have anybody that's going to be fast enough to get a Starveil off before the count comes in, and you don't have a Berserk caster. So, not knowing if that's plague or not, I understand burning that Moonveil and not doing that one first.
Absolutely, and I do 100% agree with this. So the reason why is because, Xenocat has a couple of different, has a little conversation. Demus is holy resist, but no darkness weakness. Octomom is holy resist and darkness weakness. And Mom Bomb has darkness weakness, but no holy resist. Because this game has coding that's fantastic, and I honestly thought it was like, if you have dark resist, if you have holy resist, you have dark weakness, just because of coding. But apparently I am incorrect. But yeah, there was basically, Octomom has a holy resist due to, I thought it was due to the dark weakness, but I guess that is not the case in that one.
Yeah, this game is all bugs, or all features and no bugs, so...
Yeah, and Pale Dim only basically countering the 3 prime elemental spells, countering lightning, fire, and ice, so we do see the fact that, hey, here's a quake. I'm not going to do anything about that. Does counter summon, so you do not want Rydia to use that wonderful Blarg. Unfortunately, instead, just doing some life duty. Still doing a great job, though.
I think she should have Virus. And now that everybody's in critical status, I might have her fire those off. And Cecil, I don't know what Cecil is wearing, that he's got that great resistance from Paladin, because this spot punches really hard. This is not a fun spot to be dealing with punches.
He has a crystal ring on, or
I believe so. Yeah.
Or the crystal, or crystal ring, because that's what we found earlier. So that could be what's giving him the great defenses. Yeah, this is honestly, this is kind of what we're seeing here wrapped up. This is gonna be Starman's last objective. It's Cecil's not going down. This is gonna be how it is. Honestly, though, these runners, hugely well done by the two of them. For the fact that they are mere like minutes apart, not even a minute apart, really, a minute, 2 minutes tops kind of thing, shows just how, one, what level these guys are playing at, and two, just how well this seed kind of just like dictated where you needed to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because we were saying, and there's the 6th objective for Starman, so it looks like they're the winner for tonight.
Yeah, in fact, we have the disappearing dragon. We get a dragoon lance for our troubles. Hey, if we have to go fight him again, we got a good way to knock him down. 6 objectives complete. That is GG's for Starman. We're going to see if we can get him in, and I want to see how close this really is. 1 hour, 8 minutes, 47 seconds. Lightning fast for some of these seeds, and again, GG's out in chats for a fantastically well raced, and we have a ding in my ear. GG's, Starman.
Hello, and thank you.
So the big thing I want to ask first before we go anywhere is this check. One of the last things Aerith and I commented on. You came down here to the Fey March first. You didn't even go and check the bosses originally. Why not peek them before going back up to the moon or leaving the area?
Because I figured in most cases I couldn't fight them. So I was not going to bother wasting time going to go look.
No, that's fair. Second question is, with knowing how, like, basically all the lunar bosses out there, what was your fear about that sparkle? Like, who were you afraid it was going to be?
Honestly, I think the worst that could be there would be, like, with this party, with, like, my DPS Plague. No way berserking and keeping, like, the status at bay.
I mean, you did have Cecil, who could have knocked down one player each time and brought them back up, but I understand that. Okay, let's talk about the early part of the seed and the power that you have. You got Balamb, you got some Stardust Rods, you eventually find yourself a Yang with those cat claws, and Sid with the Rune Axe. How are you feeling about the way the early game of this seed's going to go?
Pretty okay. It makes, like, going over to Eblan Castle much easier to do. Clearing that place out and getting, like, a early influx levels and other stuff just means I can roll over other things much easier. At some point, you tend to come down to a question of, do I go check the Lone Chest and Zot, do I go up Ordeals, or do I go do Fabul? Because it's usually one of those three.
Yeah, and that's the real question. You basically came down to having Zot 1 versus Ordeals. What put you one place versus the other? Like, why did you go do the Flame Dog chest instead of doing Ordeals?
Because if I'm going to do Ordeals, I'd much rather just look at the bosses and laugh a bit.
You know, no, fair. Yeah, you and
very fair. Yeah,
walked right through them.
And I do want to say, an excellent race from both runners, just brilliantly executed. Some of those tough late game lunar bosses, and looking at it, when you went up Zot, you elected not to check that first boss, and between that and also not taking the time to go down and check those bosses in the Fey March when you knew you couldn't take them, is pretty much what gave you the slight advantage that you just kind of held on to for the majority of the race. You and Funnelcakes both took that really aggressive play to check the Updog chest, and really just leveraged that momentum into just a fantastic execution of the rest of the seed.
So by the end, when we got the hook and like I go back to football and clear that out, I would say they're thinking, okay, Lore Babble is very tempting at the moment, but I need more characters. So I went over to Cave Eblan. That's it. I got the Darkness Crystal. I was like, okay, let's go check the character here. Go get into go mode and go up to the moon, see who the character is there, and just go from there. Like, that's what motivated me towards Upper Eblan, was like, we had 3 characters.
So when you get that Cecil, are you hoping for that 5th character just anywhere? Would you have checked, say, Baron or one of the other, like maybe Dwarf Castle, to try to find a 5th character, or are you just saying, whatever bosses there are, I'm doing them with 4 characters?
Probably that, honestly. Because a Cecil geared up enough, like heavy armor and other things, can usually protect you from getting, knocked on your block by anything. Usually. Occasionally.
Occasionally. So we did get a good little look around with all the key item checks coming in thanks to the spoiler. We did get an interesting aspect. I would love to know what character was there, but you could have absolutely dodged one of those boss checks, those bosses in the Fey March, if you went and did the entirety of Dwarf, because the warp check would have given you your rat tail. You're not going digging in the Sylph Cave for that Earth Crystal. That's just an interesting thing. Like, could that have saved you time? But no. Again, as mentioned by Aerith, fantastically well written. And the fact that you had a little bit of power disparity in comparison to Funnelcakes when doing the Mom Bomb check that both you bounced off of at one point. When you bounced off the check the first time, like, how were you feeling? Like, that's near the end of a race. What kind of mindset did that put you into?
I sat there and looked down like, okay, I cannot take this at this current moment. Because I had completely forgotten about the moon veil in my back pocket.
Oh, it wouldn't have mattered, because with the moon veil or not, you would have been taking about 12 to 1400 damage from the explode that we watched happen on Funnelcake's side. So we got to see both problems with that. It's fast and punchy, and when it explodes, the magic stat there is actually fairly decent.
Okay, in that case, just coming back and like, there's one thing that I chose to do there near the end, because like once it turns big, I'm like, I probably don't have enough time to cast another like Ice or Fire 3. I'm just gonna cast Quake and swing a Cecil and hope that's enough.
All honesty, yeah, Cecil did. He showed up late, he was fashionably late, and he was way overpowered and exactly what we needed for the seed. But yeah, that is a fantastically ran seed. Aerith, you got any other questions?
I guess my only question is, when you spiked that pan, and that was your 10th key item, did you put any consideration into maybe popping to that ribbon room and seeing like, oh, can I get a bundle of XP for cheap and easy, or did you just think like, no, I'm just gonna manage with what I've got and get through the fights?
More the latter, because like I don't think clearing the ribbon room would have given me like a appreciable increase of power.
Yeah, fair. If you don't have a white mage to get some better spells on, I agree. We're not going to spoil what boss was in there, because we did get to see that on stream. You honestly should go and watch this back. The executions between you and Funnelcakes, really, really good to see. And yeah, do you have any last words for the stream?
Remember what's in your inventory, please? I forget all the time.
Yeah,
Who
moon
doesn't?
veils are important too.
And thank you for having me. Y'all have a good night.
Again, Starman, our first place finisher, winner of tonight's race on stream, 1 hour, 8 minutes. And while we were talking, Funnelcakes did finish 1 hour, 10 minutes, 3 seconds, 1 minute, 16 seconds apart. That is Funnelcakes joining us, and GG's, my friend.
Thank you.
So, let's talk about. Let's start from the end and go back to the beginning. The bigger thing between the two of you, between you and Starman, was a couple of checks you guys did near the end of it. What was your order of attack of the moon, and like what was your thought process when you hit the moon with pretty much go mode?
Well, with knowing I had a Cecil with a power shirt, bandana, crystal sword, a very strong Balamb, and then finding the Rydia where I had the Bahamut from the Pinktail, I was feeling strong. And having two people stand in the front and soak hits and throw my Gear 3s, I was feeling pretty good. I knew I had a Moonveil in my pocket if I needed it. And so I wasn't too scared of the two spots I had. Unfortunately, Mom Bomb had some other plans for us.
Yeah, Mom Bomb on that spot is very rude. You and Starman did wipe to that and bounce off of it, but really solid plan. Knowing, hey, maybe what I need is just a few more levels, going in, checking that ribbon room, and getting some value out of it. I mean, anytime I see an easy fight in there is at least some XP. Maybe not as much as you could have gotten, but you definitely got some value out of there.
Yeah, and finding the Avenger was super nice for speeding up the fights. I think it helped a lot the round 2 of just being able to turn out, 5k-ish damage around instead of having to wait for a Quake and a Bahamut cast.
Oh, absolutely. It was the great influx of damage from that Rydia. So the big question I have and that I have going on is, why take the ribbon room fight when you're down there?
I just took it because I was like, Mom Bomb, if I did that fight again and just had a little more HP on, say, Cecil or something, I could have probably churned through the mini bombs if I had to. Or it makes me survive it with either of the kids so they can AoE them down. And so I just wanted to try and power up as hard as I could real fast. And, if that was a bad fight like Mega Sisters or Golbez or even something like any of the Sparkles we hadn't seen besides like Plague, I was just going to go back and try Mom Bomb on a slower battle speed.
Yeah, but you did manage to get through that Mom Bomb a second time. I will say this, you and Starman both bounced off that Mom Bomb, so it was not as bad of a boss as it could have been, but it was still something that kind of scared the two of you. Let's start back with the early bit of this seed. Again, like your plan of attack, seeing your first two characters of being Balamb and Sid. What's your fear, and what are you really hoping for?
I'm hoping to find like early Artie for Sid. I think Sid is a fantastic either hero or second character. He can use a lot of weapons. He can, he has good strength at the start of the game and can just kind of chew through a lot of bosses. And if you get him, just a little bit of gear, you can start going to town with him. And then with the Balamb knowing, he's my hero, he's sticking around, I just want to get him to Quake and Virus as soon as I can.
Quake really solves a lot of problems. I was kind of surprised because both you and Starman managed to make it through all 3 Eblan chests with just getting him just barely short of Quake. So when you get through Eblan and you get through, I think you went for Bull next. What are you thinking in terms of where do I want to try to find progression? Is it, it's probably faster going after that lonely chest in Zot, or are you thinking it might be time to bite the bullet and do ordeals?
I liked Zot because I still had to check the Mist Cave, and so it felt a lot smoother routing-wise to go from Fabul over to Mist Cave and then hop up Zot, and I was able to leave a save outside outside of Mist if it was a Zonk off the chest and, a sneaky D-Mist on Zot 1. I could have bounced back and then run right up Ordeals afterwards. But Ordeals is 3 fights. And while I didn't feel particularly weak, my 3 characters aren't, the strongest. Is just Balamb doing everything while the other 2 stand around. So waiting on that or just fading it all together is kind of a preference to me.
Yeah, that absolutely wound up being the play tonight. I just wanted to say again, just GG is a fantastically well-run seed, very well executed. It gave you the perfect combination of early go mode, a lot of power that you had to search for, but then some nice curveballs that let you show off your skill as a runner at the end there. So GG's again.
Thank you.
Again, that was Funnelcakes, our second place finisher overall. Again, well executed race. Time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, 3 seconds. Give him a big shout out and a like. And yeah, that is gonna be doing it from us today. That is, again, thank you for our friends from Free Enterprise for coming and rating us. That was a well executed run from the 2 of them. Though today we may be done and we may be sending you over to one of our friends beforehand. We're just going to talk about tomorrow's twinning. We have 2 double headers, one at 7 o'clock Eastern and one at 9 o'clock Eastern at night. We have Curios versus Plumeria Knight of New Moon versus Bimmy and Jimmy Eat World. And then Maggie the Cat of the Rusty Spoons versus Windfox of Cocole Shop Quartet. And then at 9 o'clock on Free Enterprise, actually the 7 p.m. one is on RPG Limit Break, one of our fantastic partners who we thank for them for whenever we get a chance to showcase races there. And then 9 o'clock here on Free Enterprise, we have Scythe Marshall of What's the Big Ordeals versus Beauty and Discovery of Big Chocobo Storage Wars. Again, the second part of that doubleheader is One Free Fritz of Big Trouble in Little Kaipo versus Scarcerer in Bring Your Own Bacchus. But for right now, that's going to be it from us on behalf of our restreamer Hush Pyramid, our fantastic tracker Blue Wizard, my wonderful co-commentator It's Spelled Aerith. My name is Dathis. We're going to go and send you over to Ryoto RPG, who's running a Potion Party async. No spoilers, or else there is going to be some bonking from people, but you all have yourselves a wonderful evening.